logs off late from a long day's call, solving problems, juggling it all. When the day is done and the sun goes down, she trades a job for the open ground. There's hay to haul and stalls to clean, a muddy path where her soul feels seen. It's not just chores, it's something more. It's the dream she's always been working for. From suits to boots, from desk to dirt, she's proven what a dream is worth. You don't need fame, you don't need praise, just a will to give and a heart that stays. She's got spreadsheets open by morning light, with horses waiting come early night. She's not chasing gold or spotlight gleam, she's just living out her kind of dream. Long days, sore hands, and early starts, but the work she does with heart. 'Cause when you earn it with your time and sweat, you never live with one regret. So don't you wait for the perfect day. Find your fire and lead the way. You can thrive in both your worlds, wearing strength like a strand of pearls. From suits to boots, from desk to dirt, she's showing what her life is worth. Follow your heart and don't let go. You've got more fire than you know. Work hard, stay true, and see it through. Your double life might be the real you.
Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Regular old Timeout Tuesday in my office. We are really taking a timeout tonight, and I'm so excited to be able to do this with y'all. It has been a long time since we've sat here together and just been able to truly take a timeout, and I'm so excited to be able to do that with you. I walked out to the garage fridge, and because I haven't been home in a while, I haven't stocked it, so I pulled out something that's been lingering there for a while. This is actually Prosecco, which is just a sparkling wine, and it might have been there since Christmas, but I do not care. I'm going to open it and drink it because it's cold and it's Tuesday, and I'll have you know that Steve and I went on that whole trip this weekend, and not one drippy drop of alcohol was consumed the entire trip. And it wasn't intentional, and it's not like that is required for fun. It was just so busy and so hot, and like there was, when it comes time to like, let's relax, we were just both done. So welcome to the We Do Not Care Club version of Timeout Tuesday, where we will have a lovely glass together, and you can drink your water, your tea, your coffee, your Pepsi Zero. I do not care. For me tonight, this is where it's at. Cheers, y'all, to Timeout Tuesday. Even though it's from Christmas, still super great. Y'all, so much has happened since I sat down, or since I talked to you last Tuesday. I know we've talked and we've hung out when Steve was with me, and I went live with Lester, and like all of those things have happened. But this is like our special time. And to be able to just let it all hang out feels so amazing. I want to back it up. Actually, I want to take a very brief moment and say thank you so much for all of the prayers for Levi and Sister Kim, and recognize that we are not out of the woods with Levi. There is an update on Sister Kim's YouTube. She made a short to be able to keep everybody in the loop, and bless her heart for her strength of being able to articulate and come up with words and to take the time. I don't think that many of us know what it takes to, maybe we do know. Maybe we do know the strength that you have to dig deep to be able to find in moments like that. But I watched Sister Kim's video this morning of her. She was in the shower in the hospital room, speaking very quietly and just giving everybody all the details and sort of pouring out her heart. But she did so with such strength. And today, Levi had a surgery, not a procedure. It's a procedure, but he had a surgery, a legit full intubation surgery. And we were able to actually get that surgery performed. He is in recovery, and as I understand, in the ICU. I don't know how long he'll be there. I have not watched her very latest update. I've only gotten the family text, and the last thing I saw is that his eyes were open and there was a Whataburger drink in front of him on his little table. So I know that there is a very long road ahead for the both of them, and I can't imagine how much she's longing for some normalcy. But as we pray for Levi, I never want to leave out Sister Kim, and to recognize the strength of her every day, but also the strength of her to be going through everything that she is while holding it all together. When I have a feeling that most of us, the only thing we would want to do is just fall apart. And for when that time comes for her, we'll be here for her and we'll support her. And there will be no judging for when it happens. And I say when, because we all know that many of us can muddle through situations, but at some point in time we may let it all out, and it's important to do that just as much as anything. Sister Kim's channel is Catching Up with Kim on YouTube, and if you go there, please just let her know you're thinking of her, because they're both so incredibly important to us, and we love them so very much. So, okay, that part aside, I'm not one to like give everybody details and like all of the latest and greatest and things like that, but I did feel it's really important because I've been asking y'all for prayers every day, for that piece of our family. Next, I guess I'm gonna give you like the updates of some of the things. We have really big, huge news on Xander and Kendra. They started on their house yesterday, and they are 80% into the inside demolition being completed. 80% of the interior in a 2-day span is complete. They still have much more to do. And then the outside, of course, has to, they have to do that as well, but they have to do that outside in phases, because the roof will be what they have to do next, and to be able to get new trusses set in. And then Xander and my brothers will actually be doing the wiring of the house. So we took that off of the total, and tried to save some money and do that type of thing. And because they're gutting the house, we wanted to update all the wiring to be able to get it to pass. Excuse me, I have hiccups, to pass code. So Xander and my brothers will have some busy things to do over the next week in the evenings and on the weekends as well. But the fact that they are moving and doing is like a huge blessing and a feeling of that we're moving forward, because since it happened in March, it has been virtually at a standstill outside of the asbestos removal. And we've started, we've stopped, we've started, we've stopped. We've waited for permits, we've waited for approval, we've waited for insurance, we've just waited relentlessly. So to see this progress is huge. They also moved the pod because they needed to be able to have access to the front while they get a crane in to put these trusses up. And there's some really big things that are going to be happening over the next couple months there. So that is wonderful. I was FaceTiming them literally to the second I hung up with them, and then I moved over to y'all. Kendra I asked her, is there anything that you want to do before the baby comes? Like, what's on your list? And she's like, sleep. I just want to sleep. So that was really cute. And then the other thing is I had sent Xander, I sent them both some clothes. Yes, I'm a mom who's like, you need back to school clothes, even though it's not back to school time. But Xander's grown. That sounds so bad that my 22-year-old is grown. And obviously so is Kendra. When I saw her last Sunday wearing Xander's t-shirt, I got all like emotional and sweet about it. So I sent them some new t-shirts because Lester found a t-shirt company that he really likes. And so I sent them some new shirts, and it was funny because Kendra goes, hey, were those shirts for Xander? I was like, I mean, whatever. She goes, okay, good, because I definitely wore them. So that was really cute as well. But they're both doing well. They're getting very baby excited. I asked Kendra about her swelling because that's something that we were pretty concerned about. And it's still happening, but it's not getting worse. So there's some positive news for you. We are officially in the final 4 weeks of baby countdown now, and I'm getting really excited. Now, let's talk about petals from the past, the trip, and then we're going to dive into some of the things that went down after the event as well. So the drive there was awesome. I know that I talked about this before, but traveling with another woman who is like-minded, who is very much the planner, the caretaker, the doer, could go both ways, right? Like you could butt heads with that person, or it could be really simple and you don't know. Like Steve and I have been friends for many years, but we've never spent 5 days in a tiny little space together, let alone driven or ridden super far distances. We've never stayed overnight. None of those things. I didn't have any apprehension about how it would go because I know her well, and I hope she feels the same way. But keep in mind, you're sharing a restroom, you're sharing a shower, you're doing all those things together. Like you don't know, right? Like you don't know. And then also, she's very experienced in the RV camp space. I am brand spanking new into that. And you always just hope that you will align and support each other. And fortunately, we know each other well enough that it actually became comical. As we were packing and things, she said to me, she's like, do you need me to grab paper plates or this or that? And like, what about these snacks? And what about these food? All these things. And I was like, nope, got it. And if your clothes were here, I would pack that too. And she's like, is this what it's like to travel with another woman? Yes, it is. It was awesome to be on the same page and to pick up where the other person left off and to be so like-minded and thoughtful that it was just like the perfect weekend. It was perfect in the drive space because either one of us could drive the RV. We both had the same driving style. We both, like, I am a little bit more skittish and probably drive a little slower than she does. And I white knuckle it over bridges. She's way more brave than I am in that space, but it went really well. And then, as far as the event goes, Steve and I have never done anything professionally together. And I would consider the first night of um, going to the dinner with the other creators a professional setting. And I know that each of us have professional lives and that we understand the business world and etiquette and all of those things. But it was really neat for us to be in that element versus family or super fun outing, like that. Like I saw a version of Steve that I knew existed because I've seen her doing real estate transactions and things like that. But that just made me more proud to know her, to know that she's as adaptable to circumstances. She can be in the trenches, literally digging trenches, and can mud and tape a house and can run plumbing and can throw pottery and tend bees and mow the yard and have a garden, raise a family, save puppies. Like there's so much versatility of her. And then to add this professional side of interacting with a room full of about 100 strangers, it just added to her like resume for me. And just I looked at her and I was like, I'm so proud that you are my friend, and that, and to know you and to look up to you in a way of just being able to be so versatile. And I don't mean to get emotional, but I guess that makes me a little bit emotional. I feel it in my throat sneaking up on me, because the next day of putting ourselves out there, being us, but also having to be professional in a way of being able to set things up, manage a crowd, and interact with people, strangers, and be able to navigate the heat and all the things, like she put it on again. And she didn't get the 10-15 minute break that I took throughout the day. It was just it was a girl power weekend, and it wasn't like set out to be that way. Neither one of us, I don't feel like that we're like, yeah, women, we can do it, all those things. We just do it. And when I look at the circumstances and think about, we drove an RV on a 10-hour crossing, we went through 4 states. We handled traffic, we handled gas stations, we handled figuring out that there was something funky with my generator, so we navigated that. We, made sure that everything in the RV lined up well. We weren't afraid to ask questions, to stop, get in some twisted turn of places. Like there's a lot to be said about that, and not just because I'm a woman, but just in general, like those things are not, they're not everyday things in our lives, I guess is what I'm saying. And the most empowering thing that happened during those interactions, I shouldn't say most empowering. One of the empowering things that happened during the interactions with people that came that day was hearing about their own journeys to be able to get to Alabama. How so many people hadn't left the house in years. We had people who flew for the first time. We had people from all over the world, which blew our minds. Like neither of us feel worthy that some did that. But mostly what I think was the most fulfilling was their personal stories. I just got on a plane and then I rented a car and now I got a hotel. It was the first time I traveled on my own. Or I'm newly divorced and I haven't done anything for myself in 20 years and this is what I wanted to do, so I did it. And then you have the people who are like, this is what I wanted for my birthday gift. I had a lady who her daughter brought her and accompanied her, and then I had some of the most powerful stories. I had a lady who found us during one of the hardest times of her life, and she had been diagnosed that day with stage 5 cancer, and she came home and found herself doom scrolling and came across the Run Maggie Run video, and it lifted her spirits. And for the last 5 years she's watched us habitually, and the day of the event, she got a phone call saying that she was cancer-free. And, like, hearing those stories, hearing the power in that, hearing people who were in the worst depressive state of their life, who ran across one of our videos and felt so connected, like, it was amazing. It was amazing to me. And I think that we forget in the day-to-day about we know we are creating videos and sharing our life, and we read all of the comments and we hear those things. But there was something about hugging that person and staring in their eyes and hearing their story. And I feel so guilty that we could only spend 3 to 5 minutes together type of thing. I wanted to sit down with everybody and just listen. And there was so much. There were people who lost their mothers or who had crippling anxiety and hadn't left the house in years. There were people who decided that morning at like 2 o'clock in the morning as they woke up and wanted to be there, that they got in their car and drove 6 hours to be there. I didn't anticipate any of that. I expected that the people that lived around the area that followed Cog Hill might come over and say hello. And people blew us out of the water. And not only were people who follow us welcoming, but the other creators, the other people who do similar things to what we do were incredibly welcoming. And we had so many moments of fellowship that were not in front of a camera and not for show, or it was genuine. And it was just it was so fulfilling. So fulfilling. And then names that I've seen in the comments for years, to be able to put faces with names was like, it was something so special, something I didn't anticipate. When I said yes to going and said I would go as a spectator and just go, like, I guess I also regret not going in years past now. I regret of not putting myself out there more. And when I tell Lester about it, I'm like, I just think that I don't wanna cry. If you ever feel like you're not enough, or you feel like the mean comments and the ugliness takes over, like, this and what we did this weekend will drown out any of that for years to come for me. And I'm so glad we went. I I missed home greatly, and I feel like there wasn't a second to spare in anything that we did. However, when we went to Cog Hill Farm and spent the night there, of course, y'all know that I've been working on pranks, and, like, pranks are part of my love language, and you don't always know how people are gonna take those scenarios. I feel like I know Jason and Brooke well enough that, they're friends of ours, they're people, they're colleagues, they're peers, but they're also very dear friends of ours, and I wish we lived closer. I wish we lived closer to that whole network of people because it was so neat to be surrounded by that. But when we were at Cog Hill, we get there and we park, and it's dark and it's late, and Brooke sends a message and says, don't be scared if you hear animals. Jason's going to come up and feed them. And we were parked in front of their barn. It was fine. It was fine. But don't think for 1 second that we weren't trying to plot and prank, because I had a few other pranks up my sleeve that I was like, should we, shouldn't we? Should we, shouldn't we? Well, we heard everything end and it got to be late. We both showered, and my gosh, that was the best shower of my life that night after that hot, hot day. We both showered. We're both looking like wet dogs at that point in time. Steve has found the back scratchers, which are the greatest gift of her whole life. She is madly in love with those. And we were both like, do we do this tonight or do we wait till tomorrow morning? And I'm like, I feel like tonight's probably best because it's dark. We could get this all done. And then that way, depending upon what time they wake up in the morning, you know, we should be able to do that. So we sling open the RV door. We did a gift and goodies live, and we're putting the gift and goodies back underneath the RV. And, like we're very, in an RV, you have very tiny space. So you're very much like, you better stay organized or it's going to get out of hand. So we're putting stuff under the RV, and all of a sudden we hear dogs barking and they're getting closer. And I'm like, Nugget is right next to us, and Nugget's making his like drum kind of ostrich noise. I'm like, he's calling the dogs. He's calling the dogs up right now. And it was two big, deep dogs. And then all of a sudden it was a little dog. And I was like, oh my God, they let the rest out. And then I started to get nervous about if we do this, they're going to think something's wrong, and they're going to like send out everybody. And then they're going to come up here and look, and we're going to keep them up all night. And I was like, nope, close it back up. We're going in, turn everything off, and hope that everything calms down for a while because that was a fail. So the next morning we set our alarms and we get up super early. It was like shortly after 6. We did our deeds. We laughed until we cried. And there are moments that weren't recorded either. I was filling up. I felt guilty for being there and not contributing, right? So we're standing right there, and Nugget's water. So I turn on Nugget's water and I set my phone down on the edge of the fence. As I look up to the corner and there is a security camera staring right at me, I'm like, missed that in all of the shenanigans that we did, but whatever. It's okay. All I did was leave things behind. It did not damage anything. I didn't, I don't think that I can be criminally liable for anything that I've done. I'm filling up Nugget's water, and I don't know why, but Nugget's water takes roughly 7 hours to fill up. I assume that Jason has all of this timed out in his head. The bracelet was on the thing. I didn't put it on my hand because I was not leaving that spot until the water got filled up, because I did not want to be responsible for leaving the water on. And I was just going to go from trough to trough without like invading spaces and all those things. As I'm filling the water up and my phone is sitting on the fence, somehow it falls inside. And Steve, with her back scratchers and all of her glory, are standing there, and she's like, how are we going to get that? I'm like, I don't know. We're drinking coffee. We're watching this water that's taken 7 hours to fill up. And Nugget is in our faces. Nugget is like eating my flesh. He's snapping my bands. He's eating my rings. And if I would put my face closer, he probably would have gone after my earrings at that point in time too. Meanwhile, my phone is now inside, and it's inside the part that they have much smaller wire. So they have like 2-inch welded wire inside their little pasture thingy-majigger. I had to go in. I broke my own rule twice. I said I would not go in the pastures. I wasn't going to go in the pasture. I wasn't going to mess with any animals. I wasn't going to video any animals. Not only did I video Nugget whenever I was in the RV, now I have to go in the pasture. And Nugget is extremely interested in all that I have to offer. Nugget is dropping it like it's hot, like Carl does, giving me the old dance, and he's drumming at me. He's as blue can be, and he would like to be my partner at this point in time. And Steve is terrified. She's like, nope, that doesn't, nope, not going to do it. She's like, I'll hold your coffee. So I open up the thing, I go in the gate, and here comes Nugget, giving the old rooster dance, like right in front of me. Thank God for my experience with Carl and whatnot and the ostriches. And I'm so terrified that this is on their cameras. And I told them about this later for the record. I confessed all of my sins. I am holding Nugget's throat whole, like his, like underneath his chin, not grabbing it like this, but I'm just holding him back, bending down to pick up my phone with my other hand, giving him all access to all things at this point in time. I'm in a dress, and I'm holding Nugget with one hand, and I'm dipping down to grab my phone and trying also to keep the gate from latching so I don't get caught and stuck at this point in time, all while Steve is dying laughing, like convulsing laughing at this point in time, because Nugget only is like road runnering it in space, like standing right there as I'm, holding him back. And I know that he didn't want to kill me. I also know he didn't want to eat me. He wanted to love me like a lot. And me getting down in front of him was giving him an opportunity. Mostly my upper half, mostly that. He didn't. So I grabbed my phone and I used my leg to keep that door a little bit wedged open. And then I slowly, like, hopped out to be able to get out of that scenario. And the day that Cog Hill goes back to review that security footage, they will have a viral video because it looks exactly as horrific as it sounded. And, well, Nugget and I we're friends now. We're good. And then later when I tell Jason about it, Nugget goes, he just wanted you to sit down next to him and pet him. He would have sat on your lap. I bet he would have sat on my lap. He wanted to sit on my face is where he wanted to sit. So there's that. Now, all of the shenanigan prankery y'all saw in my video today. What's funny is that yesterday when Jason made a video, hold on, let me back this up. Okay, y'all saw all of our shenanigan prankery. After we get done with the Nugget fiasco, I'm like, you know what, Steve? We probably should just part ways at this point in time. It's at this point in time just 7:30-ish, 7:45. So I messaged Brooke. I'm like, hey, Brooke, wanted to say thank you so much for letting us stay. Just wondered if you could tell me how to get out of the gate. We'll get out of your hair. I know you'll have a busy day today. And she's like, oh, we're coming up to feed up. Don't you want to see all the animals? And I look at Steve and I'm like, we're about to get caught in all that we've done, or we have already gotten caught in all that we've done. They've been watching us on the cameras the whole time is all I could think about. I'm like, sure, I'd love a tour because I really did want a tour, but I didn't want to you don't want to be like, hey, Brooke, can we see all of your orchard and all? No, you don't. No. It was already enough that they let us stay there. But either way, they come up and they're going to give us a tour. It was an awesome tour. It was wonderful time together. It was beautiful to meet their horses. I love Pocket and I love Reska. I didn't get to interact with Willie very much, but Reska came up to me and it just about made me cry because she just wanted to be there together. But as we go into the barn, they're like, this is the barn and this is Termite and this is where this lives and this is how we do this. And they fill up their feed bucket. They step into the milking room to show us the milking room. Lo and behold, I already done been in the milking room and I put our picture up on that wall already. I made myself at home and toured myself earlier, and I can't admit that I've been in there. And I look at Steve, who was following me in there videoing at that moment. And Jason walks over to the sink to fill up the bucket of Willie's feed. And all I could think about was, don't look right. Don't look right. Don't look right. Don't say anything. Just make him come back here. So we intentionally ask a question about something that is on the opposite wall so that nobody looks to the right while we're in there. Strategic and good. We make it out. Steve and I make eye contact and we just move on. All is well. We see the horses. We meet Moody, who is huge, and Matilda, and we hear about Mootilda's story, and that was crazy powerful. We meet the other two emus, and we learn about how they manage everybody, and it was awesome. Now we're gonna walk down to go feed the chickens. Steve and I know that the gnome is directly on the pole. Right there to the right. Right there to the right. We're sweating. Both of us make this eye contact and look directly back at the ground because we know that we're going to walk right. We're going to pass directly by that. There is a gnome with its butt hanging out, staring just about at Jason's eye level because he's so much taller than us, and we have to pass right by it. So we get to where we're going to pass by it, and we ask a question about the farm stand, which is the other direction. Thank the Lord some person showed up to buy eggs, and we can make conversation about that moment. Whew. We make it through. I don't even make eye contact with Steve at that point in time. Now we make it to the chickens, and they have some really cool chickens that we asked a lot of questions about. And Brooke goes out and we ask about the fencing because they have some really cool, unique fencing around there. And we talk about the garden plot and how they rotate those chickens to be able to fertilize the next garden plot. And we are deep in conversation, and it is a sincere conversation because Steve and I are both very into gardening. Steve is light years ahead of me, but I'm in the learning phase, so I am soaking it all up. We then go down to the orchards, knowing again we have to pass the gnome. This time Steve asks a question and goes, "What's that building over there?" Winning. Made it past it. All good. We go around. We see is it the Potiker garden? Protege garden? I can't say the word. We see that garden. We talk about that. And then we start to walk back up towards, we're done. We're done with the tour. We're talking about pond at this point in time. And we're walking back to the RV, and it's going to be time to say goodbye. Y'all, we have to go past the gnome again. All four of us, virtually feet from each other, have to walk towards it and turn by it. So we could either be seeing it as we're approaching, or the fear and the sweat is like, my ears are sweating at this point in time because I'm so nervous that they're going to see it and be so panicked and not get it and be like, all of those things. So as we're going down the hill, Steve and I do not make eye contact at this point in time. Strategically, we start talking about the RV. And there, Jason and Brooke are to our left. Steve's in front of me. I'm behind. And we angle and talk about, of all things, the cell phone tower that's across the street and the vulture that's sitting on it. The most random piece of anything to get them to look the other way as we walk by this. Steve and I know that we are reading each other's minds. We're in sync with what must happen. We have not pre-gamed this conversation. We have not talked about this, but we are hoping for everything that we make it by the butt cheeks of the gnome that are like this is where Jason's eye is, and this is where the gnome is. We are feet from the gnome at this point in time. We make it by. I point out that I love the wagon that is below it and say, "Where did you get it?" Because I don't want anybody to look up. How do you make it stay right here? Doesn't anything move it? Anything, so that no one looks up. And we walk up the hill. Brooke says, "You sure I can't get you any water, breakfast?" No, we're really good. Thank you so very much. My final thing is, hey, one more thing, because I have one more prank up my sleeve at this point in time, but it has to happen outside the gate. I'm like, "Hey, one thing after we leave, I'm going to stop and take a selfie at your farm stand." And Brooke goes, "Oh my gosh, be sure to sign the guest book." We're in. We feel like we have accomplished so much at this point in our life that we are like successful pranksters, and we're doing good. We get in the RV. Brooke and Jason are arm in arm. Everybody's waving bye. We back up. I don't run over a culvert, also winning, and because that was a potential situation. We get up to the gate. We're let out. We pull through the gate. I snap a little video looking in the rearview mirror, and then I pull over to get out at the farm stand. Steve and I are laughing at this point in time. We're like, "Do you know how close we were to that gnome's butt?" And we were in the milk room, and he had this, and we're decompressing from the stressful moments that had come during that tour, not even really remembering all of the nuts and bolts and things that we learned during the tour. The tour was wonderful. I loved it. But the stress during that tour was on top of everything else. So I pull out my little picture of me, and I am hoping that they're not standing behind there watching me try to rip off the Employee of the Month picture frame, which happens to be screwed directly into the post. I couldn't get it off. Meanwhile, Steve reaches in to grab the guest book, and all of a sudden, the wasps start coming out. Now I have wasp here all over my greenhouse, in the well house, in some of the chicken coop tops. They don't mess with me. I don't mess with them. All is well. Well, Alabama wasps are a little bit different, okay? Alabama wasps don't want you to touch they don't want you there at all. I naively start to sign the guest book and I got stung. And meanwhile, they are dive bombing us left and right. Steve's highly allergic and her phone's laying right there. And then, of course, we don't stop recording because Lester has taught me in all of the moments of life, it's life or death or record. So you just keep recording. So that's what we do. And Steve is now adamant. She's like, no, the guest book must go back. And I'm like, throw it in there. Who cares? I stacked my picture up against the thing and like, it's going to be fine. There are security cameras staring at me. There's literally a sign that says surveillance, and the wasp lived behind that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is karma. This is my fault. I have pranked someone, and now I have also like walked them by my pranks and deterred, and I have like tricked fate somehow, and now fate's coming back and it's biting me, literally stinging me directly in my arm, and probably wanted to sting me in all kinds of other parts too. I was the only one that got stung. We made the guest book go back to where it belonged. I left my picture not in the place that I intended. And then I felt guilty because I knew that the public stops by there. And I was like, I have to send Brooke a message about this wasp situation. Not because I wanted her to feel bad that I got stung. Like, I'll live. It's fine. Like, literally, you can still see the dot. But it's not like, it was fine. I'm not allergic. It was no big deal. And I have to tell her. And that means that I'm virtually confessing my own sins of I tried to replace your picture with my own and it didn't work. So I just weirdly left my picture lay there because I couldn't complete a prank, but I also wasn't going back to get my picture because there were wasps. So they probably thought it was the most weird thing ever. And maybe even didn't believe me. They probably just thought that I wanted to leave my picture at their place. I don't know. All I know is that when I told her, she's literally like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Jason will go fix it right away. And I said, don't worry, it made for hilarious videos. She goes, can you send me the video? And I have to like chop out the part where I'm putting my picture up and I'm trying to remove it from the wall and all the things because I can't fully confess my sins. So now I have pranked Cog Hill, but I'm also the creep that left my own picture in the farm stand standing right in front of the please return your eggs cartons here. Fail on that part of the prank. And I got stung for it. So that's how that worked out. Then, as we left Cog Hill, we had to plot the next part of the pranking. And that, my friends, will be in tomorrow's video. And you may have seen Ryan the Roaster's little short moment there where he was able to make a video. Somebody tipped him off about our prank, is all I'm going to say. Do not worry, though, because the video is outstanding. Like, outstanding. That's what I'm going to say. So, anyway, how's y'all's week going? It has been a very busy week for me. And being back home and seeing the horses has been so amazing to see them all together and knowing that they're at peace and things are going well. Oh, y'all want to know about Flat Lester? So do I. I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing more of Flat Lester, but I genuinely don't know where he is. And I asked and I went searching for and I did not recover. So I'm not sure, actually. Meanwhile, I got home and eggs were hatching. We have a total of 7 baby chicks, and there's one more that's still working on it. So I haven't given up on that baby yet. And I didn't know that you could go live as long as we did, but Lester left the live on for 21 hours, I think it was a total of. And people chick sat for us and watched all these chicks hatch and run around and came back and all the things. And it's just been a wild couple of days with all that's going on. So between the horses getting moved, the ostriches getting moved, the chicks hatching, all that went on while we were gone, what that we performed, meanwhile, everything else back here, like I'm catching up a little bit. And well, I love the names that y'all have given them. I think that if you haven't seen Lester's video, he made a video today about some pretty amazing pieces of what he did with the chicks. Mr. I Don't Love Chickens is pretty invested in chickens. And yeah, lots of things going on. So crazy times and fun times. And I can't wait. I assume surely Cog Hill's going to find that stuff soon. So here's the part. Okay. Brooke is gone with Mary Carl. And as a woman, you notice things like almost instantly. I know that if Brooke was home, she may have noticed it before we even left. Okay. She may have noticed those things and just been like, whatever, I got things to worry about. I'm not sure. But surely, because people in the videos yesterday, in their videos, saw the picture in the milk room. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Cog Hill will find those things pretty soon. But yes, there is one. Jason. So Zoe or Nick is on from Chestnut Hills, and Zoe goes, Jason is oblivious. Oh, Zoe, I wish we could have spent more time together this weekend. It was so good to see y'all. I can't wait to come back. Or if y'all get to Texas, please do let us know. Wait, people are saying that Ryan the Roaster has flat Lester. Are you sure that he has flat Lester? Like, has he confessed this? That's what I need to know. I know that Jason found the picture. He found the picture in the egg stand. I know that. I saw that in his video. Wait, how do you know that Ryan the Roaster has flat Lester? I know that I know that he and Jason had a picture, but that was at the event. Like the one where they're standing in front of the Cog Hill little RV. That was at the event. So I was still in possession of it at that point in time, and I knew that they took pictures with him. There's a video from today on Ryan the Roasters. Oh boy. Okay. Can't wait to see that. That is going to be something. So my hopes are that whoever has flat Lester, that it becomes a flat Lester on tour. That would be the neatest thing if we have a where's flat Lester, and flat Lester goes around. My only ask is that everybody leaves their mark on flat Lester. So maybe Lester comes back a little more tattooed, maybe in the front, maybe in the back. Maybe he gets stickers from all the places he's been or all the people he's visited. But what if flat Lester goes on tour for a whole year and we end up with flat Lester back next year at the event? Wouldn't that be fun? I think it would be really fun. Christina says, LOL tattoos. I could tell you right now he has a piece of black duct tape on the back of his head because I couldn't get it off. Yes, exactly. Like, where's Waldo? I should have put an air tag on him. That would have been so fun. Interesting. Well, tomorrow my video comes out about us pranking Ryan the Roaster, and boy, oh boy, was that an event. We also got to spend some really neat quality time with Ryan's wife, both at dinner and the next day. And she allowed me to include her in our video, so y'all get to meet her just a little bit. And we got to see Ryan's coffee shop and learn a little bit there too. So I'm just really excited to be able to share those pieces with you about our trip and share a little bit more about that character who's in our story as well. I wish so much that Lester could have been with us and fellowshipped and gotten to meet you all, but I'm hopeful that next time that we're able to accomplish that as well. Oh boy, he just put a video out on YouTube. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this Timeout Tuesday, and I hope that you will both check out Sister Kim's video for updates on Levi. I am hopeful that Steve posts her video of the trip pretty soon. I don't know what day that's coming out. I think you should check out Ryan the Roaster. I also think you should check out Cog Hill Farm. And then I do know that Lester has some really special footage of the things that he's done here, and I would love for you to check out that as well. I love y'all so very much. Oh, and Lester was planning on going live with the gift and goodies tonight, and I brought back some gifts from the event for him as well. So I love y'all so very much. I'm so grateful that you take the time to listen to me ramble on Tuesdays and for hanging out with me, laughing with me, loving with me, crying with me, and just being so important to me in my life. Remember, the greatest gift of all that you can give anyone is your time, and the fact that you choose me or choose us is so powerful. I hope you stay safe. I hope you stay well. I will end this video the same way that I started. Let's see here. See here if I can bring it all the way back. Come back to me. All right. Good night, y'all.
She logs off late from a long day's call, solving problems, juggling it all. When the day is done and the sun goes down, she trades the job for the open ground. There's hay to haul and stalls to clean, a muddy path where her soul feels seen. It's not just chores, it's something more. It's the dream she's always been working for. From suits to boots, from desk to dirt, she's proven what a dream is worth. You don't need fame, you don't need praise, just a will to give and a heart that stays. She's got spreadsheets open by morning light, with horses waiting come early night. She's not chasing gold or a spotlight gleam, she's just living out her kind of dream. Long days, sore hands, and early starts, but the work she does with heart. 'Cause when you earn it with your time and sweat, you never live with the one regret. So don't you wait for the perfect day. Find your fire and lead the way. You can thrive in both your worlds, wearing strength like a strand of pearls. From